In the weeks that followed, I found myself questioning every interaction, every moment I had shared with Lucas. What had started as innocent gestures, lending him advice on relationships, talking about his hopes and dreams, had somehow become muddled with something far more complicated and dangerous. I couldn't help but replay the moment in the kitchen over and over again in my head, questioning whether I had given him the wrong signals. Had I done something to make him feel that way, or was this entirely his doing? I tried to talk to Lucas, but every time I approached him, he would retreat further. He'd either lock himself in his room or avoid eye contact when I passed by. It was as if he was ashamed of what had happened, but there was something else too. A feeling of discomfort that settled in my stomach every time I looked at him. I wanted to scream, to ask him why he had done it, but I couldn't bring myself to confront him directly. I had spent years cultivating a relationship with Mark's children, trying to be the supportive, understanding stepmother, but this was something entirely different. I knew I couldn't ignore it, but I also couldn't let it completely define our family. The tension in the house was unbearable. Every dinner felt like an awkward gathering, and every conversation seemed fraught with unspoken words. Mark had become increasingly distant too. I could see that he was hurting, but he didn't know how to handle it, just as I didn't. In the quiet of the night, I would lie awake, staring at the ceiling, trying to piece together everything that had led to this. I felt betrayed by Lucas, but there was also a deep sense of betrayal towards myself. I had been so trusting, so open with him, and yet I never saw the signs. The emotional bond I thought we had shared, one that was built on a foundation of care and guidance, had somehow morphed into something more sinister. I couldn't help but wonder if Lucas had been struggling with something deeper than I had realized. Was he confused about his feelings? Was he acting out in a desperate attempt to find something he felt was missing in his life? He had always been an emotionally complex child, someone who had a hard time opening up to others. Perhaps I had been too focused on my own role as his stepmother to notice the cracks forming beneath the surface. One afternoon, I decided to take the first step in confronting the situation. Mark and I sat down, just the two of us, in our living room. The silence between us was thick, almost suffocating. Finally, I spoke. "I think we need to talk about Lucas," I said, my voice trembling with uncertainty. Mark sighed, running a hand through his hair. "I don't even know what to say. I never thought something like this would happen in our family." "I never thought it would happen either," I replied softly. "But we can't pretend it didn't." Mark paused, his eyes meeting mine. I could see the pain in them. "So, what now?" "I don't know," I admitted, feeling the weight of the uncertainty settle over me. "I don't know if I can look at him the same way. I don't know how we fix this." Mark nodded, his expression a mix of sadness and confusion. "I don't know either, but we have to do something. We can't keep pretending everything's fine." That night I sat by the phone, staring at it for what felt like an eternity. I knew I needed to speak with Lucas, but how could I approach him? What could I say that wouldn't make everything worse? Finally, I decided to text him, telling him that we needed to talk. His response was immediate, a simple, "Okay," followed by an hour of agonizing silence. When he finally came down to the living room, he looked like a shell of the person I had once known. His eyes were red, his posture slumped with guilt. He sat across from me, avoiding my gaze. I didn't know where to start, but I knew I couldn't let this fester any longer. "Lucas," I said quietly, trying to keep my voice steady. "What happened between us, what you did in the kitchen, it can't be ignored. I don't know what you were feeling, but it's hurtful and confusing." He shifted uncomfortably in his seat, his hands clenched tightly in his lap. "I'm sorry," he whispered, his voice shaky. "I didn't mean to. I don't know what happened. I've just been feeling things I don't understand, and when I was with you, I felt safe, I guess. But I never wanted to hurt you."